Alright, the project for today is getting the old mold boards off the cutting edge here, I should say. These bolts are super rounded. There is nothing left. I can't even get the impact on there. There's just the mold. This is so bad it's right down to the very edge of the mold board, so this cutting edge is toasted. As you can see, the only thing good about it is that very end. 5-Star Equipment up in Orchard Park has us a new cutting edge. Probably go up there tomorrow and pick that up. Cutting edges and all the bolts and nuts. So that's the project for today. Get this off. So it didn't take too long. I just went and cut right straight down through the nut with this simple cutting wheel here. I'll show you the nuts there when we get underneath it, but yeah, there was nothing left. The nuts are horrible. Here I had thought I'd just put an impact right on there, you know, and try to get some of them off. Well, they're not even, look at them. They don't even look like nuts. They're all cone shaped. So I'm just gonna cut right down through the center of them. This is what I did with this last one. Took the wheel, cut right down through it, and pounded it out. Just for extra added precaution. Throw some chains around this bad boy. Don't need to be getting smushed. There. Face. I know this is a wood chisel. All I got. You gotta cut through that backside a little bit more. That should do it. Well, it was moving. This little thing. There, I'm back. There, I'll just do it. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. 2 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 more to go or something like that. Boy, we're right down to nothing. Looks like I might get 3 of them cut per blade. Don't have a torch, so no torcho rama today. Just cutting wheel. As the nut came off of it. Pretty rounded off. Works good. That's probably going to be a little harder to get that one off, being that we got this shoe on here. We'll get her. Got a little hot cutting to it. Well, there's that end piece. Not much left to it. And we got a little bit of a problem here. There isn't much meat on the end of this either. Three down and a lot to go. Oh, that blade's toasted. Thanks. Well, evidently we're not through that one. Yeah, got to change blade. Good thing we got a lot of blades. Too far. Seems to be working alright. I mean, I bet I'd have just about as much time farting around with trying to get them off with the impact as I would cutting them. Yeah. Oh, I want to hold it down to the bitter end. That's the point where my arm can't do it anymore. That should just pound through. I don't know why it's not. There. Don't know. Sure are big bolts. Yeah, it's going to be a while. Won't bore you with the rest of them, but that's how I'm doing it. Seems to be working okay. Gonna be a struggle, but we'll get it off there and get a new one on. Whew. 2 hours into it, and we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts off. Got 3 more to go. There's the old piece. He's off. A bit of dirt to scrape off behind here. Looks like it definitely has gotten into the mold board a little bit here. Looks like she's been welded up a few times. This piece here is on here and missing a bolt on the end because there's no mold board left there. It's almost like this side. It's got very little holding here on this side. So hopefully when we get the new cutting edge on, it covers all that up and stays put. Otherwise might have to do a little welding maybe down there on that end and on this side. Maybe on the back side here a little bit. I think that's what they did. Welded a little bit on the back side there. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to get this off here, I don't know. There were so many other things to do with it that I was just about ready to take it to the next job, and I said, you know what? If I'm going to do a nice job and get a nice finish on it, there's no way I can do it with this crappy cutting edge. So tomorrow, take a road trip, go up to 5 Star Equipment, get us a new cutting edge. We'll continue this video after I get the new cutting edge back here and get it installed. Show you guys what it looks like. We'll see you then. Not good news. Corner of this blade shot. Oh boy. Third hole's missing. I don't know what to do here. They welded on some serious metal up in there. That's terrible. But that got to that point. I don't even know if a bolt will go through there. I guess it will. Might have to find a plate of steel. I don't know if I can get. Oh, the way that's rounded, that's not going to work. Boy, got to reinforce that up somehow. This is no wonder why they had this on there. Fix her up. That's all we can do. Well, sure is a nice place. 5 Star Equipment. Looks like there might be a couple things here to look at. Wow. Very cool. Couple things. John Deere 550. Oh, look at all that new stuff. Look at the cab in that thing. Wow. $650. A monster loader. The size of that bucket. Man. .320 John Deere. Bunch of nice excavators. 35 and a 60. 85. Jump right up to the 160s. John Deere 26. This is a neat size. John Deere 30. $85. That is a nice blade. Huge. Angle blade. .334 skiddy. Big old ADT. Okay, we are back from our trip up to 5-star equipment to get our cutting edges. Looks like these two cutting edges here may be John Deere part number T31148. That looks to be U16748, I think. Look at the part numbers here. Yep, part number U16748 and T311. So there's the pricing on that, so you guys have a reference to it. Total is $341 for those pieces of steel, which wasn't too bad, and that came with all the bolts. All the bolts are in there. They're from John Deere. That is one hunk of steel. Quite a difference from the ones that were on there. ½ inch, gotta be. Well, spent a little time cutting some of this weld back. I'm thinking actually of moving this main piece all the way down so that it's supported, because this is so bad down here. So I'm going to try to put it, that main piece, all the way down here, tie in as many bolts as I can, and then put the two smaller pieces right here. I'll get 2 bolts here, 3 bolts here. Just don't like that corner down there. I'm afraid if I put that one small piece on there, I could weld it in, I guess. Don't have a welder readily available right this minute, but it may be an option too. Really need some good washers on the back side of that too, but that plate steel is so heavy that I'm thinking it would carry the load out as long as I'm just pushing dirt, not a lot of rocks and stuff. We'll see what it looks like. Alright, you might think this is crazy, but this is what we got going on here right now. This is kind of carried over because you remember this whole section's missing on the mold board here. If you look on the back of it, got one bolt down here. Ooh, there's one missing there too. That's too bad. There's all the new bolts. Yeah. Should be another one right here, but So it looks a little Frankenstein, but tell you what, we're gonna get this tractor up on the job and push some dirt with it. We'll see how it performs. If we have some issues with it, we can always change these cutting edges around. Maybe we'll have to put a little one back over here and weld it on. Maybe weld the back side of it as well. Just go to town and weld one of those smaller pieces on the end here. But right now we're missing. There is a bolt that's supposed to go here. There's a hole, one here. But anyways, you know, this thing being a 1/2 inch, I know there's a lot of stress out here on the end of the blade, but there's no blade here. So better to have a 1/2 inch thick plate of steel that's bolted down and kind of carrying some of the weight and pressure throughout the rest of it. We are missing a hole right here. This is no big deal. There's 2 bolts holding this little small piece on. We do have 3 barely holding that one on. As you can see, we're missing. It gets pretty sketchy down here, but only thing we can do is try it out and see what it does. Got to be better than what was on there, that's for sure, which was almost absolutely nothing. All right, next shot will be over on site. We are going to do the site work for a pole barn, and got to get her trucked over there. Hope to get this going, started possibly this weekend. We'll see you soon. Yeah, first we gotta go hit some lawns here. Today we got a little break in the weather. It's actually not raining. So we're gonna go finish up one of our big properties we take care of and call it a day. Happy Friday, right? Site. We're going to do a little push in here. This is going to be a future site for a pole barn, and what we're going to do here is just level all this off, push all the topsoil down, probably disperse it over there or make a pile, one or the other. But the key is to get all the topsoil off here and get down to the clay, see if we can build some sort of a pad out here for a pole barn. First push, first job with the John Deere. See how she does. We'll probably hook up the shovel cam, put this in the ground. Like that. How wet it is out here. Yeah, that'll work. down some clay already. This topsoil is really muddy though, so beautiful day, beautiful view. Turn the camera off for a little while, see if we can get some more of this topsoil off. Eventually we're going to start just pushing it down that way. After I get the majority of this pushed that way, just keep pushing it down. Okay. Okay, this is what we're looking like so far. Making progress. Finding clay. We've got a lot of topsoil out here to move, but set the camera up down here, get some shots pushing, try to get that corner moved around there. Where are our markers? There's our blue marker there, so we got to go way over that way yet. Eventually we'll start just pushing this stuff down and dispersing it all over around there. Set the camera up right here, the shovel cam. Yes, it does. Cutting edge held up well, so that's good.
Where'd you buy those?
Okay, what I'm doing right now is trying to cut this back. Got this steep edge right here. Just pushing. Trying to get most of the topsoil out of there. Pushing it up. And we'll drain this off this way. Right now we're just pushing it up like this. Trying to get rid of that. Steepness right there. Then make that more gradual. Go down here and squeeze more out. Alright. Quick video of that in a second. little follow-up on the dirt project, the first dirt project we had with the 450C was this building pad. I think we got her pretty well licked. Should have enough room for a pole barn out there. Moved a tremendous amount of dirt. The little 450 did a good job. Quite impressed. Everything held up pretty well. Tracks are severely loose on the one side. I tried to pump some grease in it, but cutting edge is still intact. Seems to be working all right. Thanks for watching this episode of Summit Outdoors. If you like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you're liking the content, the videos that we're doing. It's much appreciated. Goes a long ways. Keeps everything rolling. Eventually maybe we'll get this old girl on another project. So until then, enjoy the day, whatever day it may be. Today is Wednesday. It is a absolutely beautiful day. A little smoke coming in here in western New York. Yesterday it was quite hazy from the wildfires in Canada again. Yeah, next thing we might do is get some video of building this pole barn. We're going to be drilling some holes, setting some poles, all that fun stuff. All right, catch you next time. I'm sure the Dozer needs some fuel, so get that going on here right now. Thirsty. Pretty good flow out of this pump. 15 gallons a minute. JPI, I believe, is the brand name. Bought at Tractor Supply company. Looks like it's coming up now. There we go. He's up there. Oh, this track is really loose. I gotta put some grease in that one. GPI is the name of that pump. I like it a lot. So far, so good.